Hey guys, it's Pseudonymist here, and I've been gaming for as long as I can remember now, as I started with Power Rangers on the PS2 since I was like maybe 7 years old or so, and now I'm playing games like Apex Legends and Persona 5 on the PS4. And if I need to remember, or if I recall correctly, one of my most beloved gaming icons that I've seen since I was young is Crash Bandicoot. Okay, so before we get into this video, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. YouTube statistics show that most of the people who watch my content are not subscribed, so please just subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. And if the content isn't satisfying, you can always unsubscribe. It's very easy to do. Now, let's get into the video. I didn't play all the games, but the games that I have played were the games that people generally didn't like Crash of the Titans, Crash Tag Team Racing, and Crash of the Titans 2. Oh, wait. That's Crash Mind over Mutant. So, I never played the original Crash games since platforming wasn't really interesting to me. A 2D or 3D screen to just jump on a platform to get to the other. Oh, jolly, I can totally do that for about 60 levels or so. Well, especially right now, Crash's popularity has been growing bigger than before, especially with Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and the Insane Trilogy remake, and also the new Nitro card game. Now, when I was young, I didn't like platforming and stuck to the hack and slash games with small enemies that you need to attack to get onto the next area, using the attack button multiple times and needing the strategy. Oh, they're gone already. So, when I got older, though, I decided that I'm going to change this fact about myself, and decided to buy the Insane Trilogy and finally see what people really loved about platforming, only to replace the game 2 weeks later. People really loved the platforming formula, and it didn't really need change, but Sony had to try to introduce something new to this marsupial. And I'm not just talking about hack and slash games, I'm also talking about the racing games with lots of bugs, and the attempted party game, Crash Bash. What the f*** that? Well, Crash Bash lacked a lot of different games, with every level having the same ones with different variants, and the story didn't really quite make a lot of sense. Not to mention the gameplay was also not very enjoyable and not really the best of them. The hack and slash games, however, which are the ones I played, had some character design changes like Neo Cortex and Tiny Tiger, who went from this to this. Interesting. But I cannot hate this Uka Uka design change. I mean, look at this, it has such a nice dark tiki aura vibe around it, but the fans loved the older one since it was more iconic. Well, in these games you also have different monsters or titans, each with their different abilities. Oh, for example, you have this guy who can make spikes, you have this guy who can shoot spikes, and you have this guy who can freeze you using ice spikes. I think I'm seeing a pattern here and I'm not sure I really quite like it. So practically those are what the hack and slash games was. Now, the racing games that I played, which is Tag Team Racing, just made you a little bit too OP with the merging mechanic. Where two cars just become one with a gunner and a driver, but the driving was stiff as hell. But this game didn't solely depend on racing, it had a better story and it had some platforming, but it was enjoyable platforming as you roam into the attraction park and try to get 5 gems to unlock the themed areas and become the new owner. Crash needed to do this because Cortex would have turned the theme park into a secret lair for his evil plans. So far the story makes sense, right? With some collecting you had to do to unlock like some different costumes, maybe some different cards for the different characters in the game. And Crash Tag Team Racing, other than the bad racing aspect of it, the platforming is very enjoyable and it's a very nice game. I don't regret anything about this. Some great things in common between all of those games is the great music each of them had. Like in Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind of Mutant, they had something to match this island theme, this mystical tiki theme that they had going on for them, and they were pretty good. While in Crash Tag Team Racing, each area had their own little music. Like Happily Ever Faster had some sort of fantasy song. So this was practically my experience with the Crash Bandicoot franchise, and I really like how these games were made. They were a major part of my childhood personally, and I cherish these games. Well, until I got no time to look back at them because of the exhaustion and the new generation consoles that came out. Even though not many people liked them, I still really cherish those games. Ew, Crash of the Titans? What the heck is this? Get out!